Go live to the saloon bar for our drink of the day. Producer Susie's been experimenting. What are we going for?
Well, it's really nice here. It's really nice and sunny. So I think a nice cold glass of white wine would be delicious. Maybe a Sauvignon? Lovely.
A Sauvignon. Not a Sauvignon Blanc or a...
Yeah, Sauvignon Blanc.
Savvy bee.
A savvy bee. Why not?
Which no one ever said ever. Okay, tonight's confession. Half a pint of savvy bee.
Savvy bee.
Today's confession comes from Frankie. Frankie, thank you very much. Here's today's tale. Simon and the Confessional Collective. Back in 1972, I was an innocent 22-year-old man working in a petrol station. This was not any old petrol station, but one of the brand new breed of self-service stations.
Ooh.
As the concept of self-service was so new, we, the staff, were on hand to assist and demonstrate how to use the pumps. We also checked their engine oil levels and washed their windscreens. Needless to say, we were always rushed off our feet. Each shift had 2 members of staff as a minimum. I worked predominantly with a guy called Chris. He and I were of similar age, and we worked together well, taking in turns to work either the forecourt or the till. On this particular day, I was on till duty, Chris was running the forecourt. The layout of the garage was such that when standing at the tills serving customers, the forecourt with petrol pumps were on our right. So to see any particular pump would involve turning to our right and looking through a large plate glass window. To the rear of the shop was one of the first generation of automated car washes. So this is a high-tech garage that we're in.
Wow.
A simple 2 vertical brush affair was the car wash. 2 vertical brushes, 1 horizontal brush. No computers, no sensors, no wheel cleaning brushes, no CCTV. The only way to shut this beauty down was to hit a red button on the post where the token went in.
Okay.
This would be done by a member of staff, as the driver had to stay in the car and could not reach the stop button from the driving seat. Where is this going?
I wonder.
We were supposed to help the car wash customers and ensure the radio aerial was pushed down. A very, very basic wash by today's standards. As this was a totally new concept, the manufacturers knew that there would be claims and had left us with a wad of claim forms. The odd wiper arm or radio aerial would always be ripped off, but not much more than that. We were only allowed bog-standard cars too. There were vehicles that were excluded from using it, and it was our responsibility to ensure we didn't allow those vehicles. It was a particularly busy hot summer's day, and both Chris and I were rushed off our feet. With low petrol prices is an old confession, obviously.
Clearly.
Free upper cylinder lubricant and quadruple green shield stamps. Yes, the place was packed. What times to be alive with quadruple green shield stamps. A young man wearing corduroys, sporting a beard and glasses, looking a bit like Che Guevara, asked for a car wash token. As there were quite a few people in the queue waiting to pay, I gave him a token without mentioning the aerial. Not every car had a radio aerial anyway. I carried on serving customers without further ado when suddenly Chris appeared frantically at the door and shouted, "Frankie, did you sell someone a car wash?" "Yes," I said. "Why?" And I turned 180 degrees and looked in horror, as did Chris. The brush came down with some force onto the fabric roof of the Triumph Spitfire convertible. It managed to land in between the roof bars and caused the roof to sag and then give way. The horizontal brush showed no mercy, flung the rag top backwards, exposing the driver to the full force of the blue spinning brush and the spurting water. The brush could not go further down as the windows were up, but the brush continued its rearward motion and in doing so began washing his hair, his face, his glasses and his beard. The glasses gave up quite quickly and flew through the air. His head was being pummeled like a boxer's speedball. We didn't see too much of what happened next as we'd both ducked down behind our counter in utter belly-busting hysterics. I cannot ever remember laughing so much in my life of 72 years, says Frankie. Both of us had tears of laughter rolling down our cheeks. The driver acted so calmly and seemed to have accepted his fate. The water was pouring into and then out of his car. The vertical brushes had now joined in the melee with soap suds flying everywhere. Trying to breathe for us both was almost impossible due to laughter and holding our painful stomachs. Suddenly, Chris pointed out in between fits of laughter, he managed to say the word aerial, and I looked and saw the horizontal brush reach the aerial and promptly rip it up from the bodywork and launch it like a javelin through the air. We tried in vain to regain our composure until this bedraggled vision, completely soaked from head to foot, leaving puddles of water, came into our room. He very reasonably asked to see the manager as he wiped water from various parts of his body. Thinking on my feet, I told him I was the manager. To my utter amazement, he willingly completed the claim form that I thrust into his hand, telling him that everything would be fine and he'd be fully compensated. I even refunded the cost of the car wash. My generosity knew no bounds. I was well aware that convertible cars were on the list of prohibited vehicles and that the insurance would not pay out. My small white lie gave myself and Chris time to find another job, which we both did fast. I'm sorry to say that 50 years on, I still managed to see this image imprinted on my brain of the big blue nylon brush washing his face, and I still snigger to myself. I don't think I'm going to be forgiven. Well, let's find out. Frankie's car wash confession. We haven't had a car... All car wash confessions are essentially the same one, but this was a very good one. Sister Susie, what do you say?
Well, Frankie, it's very, very funny, and I really did make me chuckle. However, I can't imagine what it would be like to have that car absolutely full of water. And that poor man, he probably broke his glasses as well. And you knew that shouldn't have gone through the car wash.
He was busy.
Yeah, but he knew. He might have been busy, but you can't put the only thing I can think of is that claim would never have gone through, and now he's got a broken car and he can't. What does he do with it? And it was his fault, and he'd left the job because he knew what was coming. So no, Frankie, okay. I can't forgive you.
That's sounding very, very stern.
Oh dear.
Okay, but you can always rely on the brother from another.
Yeah,
gutter.
I mean, we're firmly in sitcom land here, aren't we? We're in Some Mothers Do Have 'Em, clearly. Is it just me, or really should the owner of a soft top not be taking it into a car wash? Come on, Che Guevara in chords. Work it out.
Yes.
It doesn't work. You don't go into a car wash when you've got a vinyl roof. In fact, with your vinyl roof, you shouldn't be going anywhere, frankly, in your Triumph Spitfire. So, yes, definitely forgiven. Had it coming to him in your chords.
Corduroy trousers, clearly the unforgivable's in there.